welcome back. So we have some data here, but this is not exactly what we're looking for. So let's fix our problem, shall we? Okay, so what do we do here? Actually, the view should have been named users instead of customers, right? So let's do a little rename here. Instead of customers, let me rename this. Let me just make sure that I don't have another file named users. So I'm going to rename that from customers to users. And since I've renamed it now, I have to go back to my admin controller and call it by its new name, which is users. So let's just confirm we haven't broken anything. Okay, still loading admins, admin customers. Okay, that's all good. But now let's change what we are displaying here. So to do that, let's go to the users table and see what information is relevant. So there's the name, the email, and we don't need to see the password. We just need to know the date. And we don't need to know the rank, because if we are looking at customers, then obviously it's going to be customer. So the only things we need in this table are name, email, and date. So yeah, I guess so. We may need to know how many how many orders this customer has ever made so far, and that could be useful information. So let me come back here to users of PHP. Yes. So ID, since we are admins, it's okay to see the user ID. So I'm going to just create a user ID here. I'll say user ID. Name and date created. What else do we need? We need the email. Yes, so let me just duplicate that. Email, date created, and instead of total here, we'll have orders. Orders count, maybe something like that. And then let me delete the rest of this up to table row there. Maybe we can leave the last one for actions. Boom. Okay, I think that works. So let's remove this on-click listener event here. It's irrelevant now. And okay, users as user. So the first one is the user ID, so we'll leave it there. The second one is the name, and we'll leave this profile thing because at least it can take us to the username. Why do I have a second thingy here? It should just be username, like so. And then there's a date there, so we're going to leave the date. And I'm going to remove everything else here that's remaining. Where is that? Ooh, what's happening? What's happening? Where is the table row? Let me use the delete here. What's happening? I want the table row ending. There it is. So instead of the date here, there's something we added, which is email. So I'm simply going to copy this. Oh my god, my mouse is terrible. Let's come back here. Keep snapping to the other side. So I'm going to copy username, copy, and then right here before the date, I'm just going to add table data, close it, paste, then close the table data. But then here I'll change that to email, of course. So let's see what we get so far. So we have user ID, name, email, date created, orders count. Okay, seems legit. But let's look at these complaints. Yeah, so it's saying line 28, attempt to read property ID on a string. On line 28. So let's come back here. So maybe that other side was correct. User ID. Boom. Okay, so let's see how are we actually saving this information. Let's go back to the controller. So users returns a list of users. Wait a minute, let's go back to the user class. User.class. So get customers. So here we're not supposed to return result 0. No, we're supposed to return just result as it is. Same thing for the admins here, because we're returning just one object. So not cool. I think that should solve our worries. Refresh. Okay, that's looking much better. Yeah. So one more complaint here. On line 28, the error is not even complete because of the HTML stuff. So let me go back to users here, so we know where the problem is. On, yeah, right here where it says user URL. So let me remove that one of those users and refresh. Okay, much better. So that if I click on Mary, it should take me to Mary's profile, even though it's not doing that now. We're going to fix that. No problem. Let me go back. And so yeah, so we have Mary, we have date created, we have orders count. So these are the only customers we have. We only have one. And let's go to admins now. Click on admin, and there we go. We have one admin right there. So let me come back here for a second and add one more table data at the end for some actions. So I will have to drop that anyway at the end of the day. Table data. This is where some actions will be. So it's up to us to choose now what action we want to take on this user. If it's an admin, we can demote them if we want to customer, and then we can also do the same to customer and promote them to admin status. Okay, so those are things we can do. The question is, how do we do them? Okay, so let's forget about that for a second. Let's deal with the order count there, and then we can call it a video. So in order for us to read what orders somebody has, let me come back here for a second. If I go to the order class here, I must have a function for that. So let's check out what we have. Get orders by user. Yeah. Incredible. Okay, so here I get that, copy. See, it returns all the orders that we need for this particular user. But though there's a limit of 100, so maybe let's remove that limit for now. Now the thing is, we will need to do pagination on this thing. Okay, right now it doesn't seem so relevant, but pagination is important because we will have too many orders at some point. So let me do this. Let me undo this for a second. Let me just create a function here that will just get all get orders count. Let me delete that. Get orders count. So here all I'm going to do is remove the order by. I'm just going to do that. And then instead of select all, I'm just going to say select ID, just to reduce the amount of data we are picking up from here. The IDs are not so much. And then what I will return here is, let me set this to an empty array first. That way it's an array and the count value here will work. So count like so. So what I'm returning is actually just the number. If this result returns 100, and then I'll return just 100. If it doesn't return anything, actually this could be a mistake right here. Because if it doesn't return anything, it's going to be equal to false, and then this will not work. So how to fix this? Okay, we have to name this one something else. So I'm going to rename this one to result. And then what I will do is just check if result is equal to what I do here. Interesting. So I'm just going to say orders is equal to, let's add an if statement here. So if result, if is array result, like this, right? Let's put our question mark. If it's really an array, then orders becomes, what do I do? Okay, so if it's an array, let's count the values and put it there. Okay, but if it's not an array, let's put a 0, just like that, and then return orders. Yes, like so. And then we don't need this guy anymore. Okay, so here if orders, if this is an array, orders will be equal to the count of that array. If not, it's going to be equal to 0. So this works just fine. So get orders copies this, and then let's go to what we do here. So let me go to the users table, and then I'm looking for user date, right? Where is that? There's date, and then there's orders count, and then there's something else there. So it would be nice to just add the count there. So let's do that in the admin controller, and users, yes, users. What to do? Okay, so let me go back to the orders class. Okay, so this is the one right here. Okay, just keeping that in mind. So then I will need to load the orders. I'll copy that, the orders module. Okay, so I've loaded that, and then now I can check if users is actually an array here. So I'll say if is array users. So only if it's an array. What I will do now is go through the array, say for each users. So I'll leave the key and I'll leave the value. Now the value is equal to a row. Okay, a row object. So here what I want to do is for every user, I want to check what orders they have. So I'm going to say orders num, like that, the number of orders, is equal to this right here. So cut this, put it there. Now the user URL here is going to be the URL address of the user. URL address, and we're going to use the order class here. So remember, this is the class. So order, get orders count from that URL address. So this one will return the number of orders. So whatever that number is, let's add it to the user's situation here. So what I will say is, I will say users key, let me use that key there, and then let's put the arrow. What are we going to name it? We're going to say order underscore count, maybe orders count. That's the name we're going to give it, is equal to orders num. Okay, something like this. Yep. And then all we need to do is use the orders count here on the other side, which is in here. So I do need 2 of these after all, so duplicate that. This one is for the orders. So I'm just going to say PHP equals user orders count. So let's see if it actually worked. Ooh, that didn't seem to work very well. Okay, so let's go back here. URL address. So it's telling me undefined variable URL on line 124. So that's where the problems are starting from, but it's giving me a 0 there, so that's all good. But let's look at 124, shall we? In the admin controller, 124 right here. URL address. Oh, sorry, my bad. That's because I was supposed to put row like that. Okay. I think the complaints will end now. Refresh. So it turns out Mary has no orders whatsoever. Let's try an admin. Ooh. So it's telling me undefined variable orders on line 132. Wait a minute. In order class. So orders class 132 right here. Oh. Wait a minute. Get orders count. Oh, sorry, my bad. Copy this result, copy that, and that's what we should put here. The first time it actually worked because it didn't go to this, it went to the 0. So, but when it came here and tried to count orders, it's like, where is this orders thingy? But we should be counting the result instead. Okay, so refresh. Okay, all right, so things are looking up. Orders count 4. Very good. All right, so at least now we can see how many orders they have made before. And if we go to customers, okay, that one has made 0. Let's go to admin, that one has made 4. Okay, so looking great. We shall continue in the next video.